IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm broadcasting to you from beautiful Budapest here in Central Europe. Today we're looking at IELTS Task 2 Writing. This is a members chat class. To be a member, just click the join button beside the subscribe button on our channel page. And then you can chat in these members classes. We will have an everyone chat class in 90 minutes. That will be for the listening section. Our materials, we take them from our world-class premium online IELTS websites. For the academic version, check us out at aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com. For the general version of the test, check us out at gieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots of great materials for you. Hi, Kisi. Hi, Haung. Hi, Roshni. Hi, Paula. Good to see everyone joining in. So yeah, our websites, they look like this. This is our academic blue background. Click that red button to join it. And this is our general version of the website. For the general module, click that red button to join there. Hi, Harminder. All right. So as you can see, we're promoting our new version of our figure here for our products. We have merchandise on our YouTube channel as well. It's our IELTS hero cracking the acronym IELTS. I'm wearing one of these shirts today. So yes, Paula, it's another shirt. Today it's a long sleeve as opposed to yesterday's short sleeve, and it's orange instead of that yellow gold color. All right, students, if you have questions, send me an email. Members, remember to send me email requests for topics to Adrian, A-D-R-I-A-N, at aehelp.com. That's my email, so I will gladly answer questions. Also, here is a code for a 20% discount on our websites, LIVE20. Live 20. You can get 20% off of our premium courses. You can use those on the websites I just showed you. All right, this week we have classes every day until Saturday. In fact, we have 2 classes almost every day except for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have 1 class that will be a speaking part 1 for everybody. And let's look at our writing task 2 question. Let's get right into it. Hi, Mariko. Good to see you in class. All right, so writing task 2, you should do task 2 second, always. Task 1 is worth 1/3 of the mark. It's better as a warm-up. You're just reporting information. Task 2, you have to be a little bit more creative. Just a refresher, members, what type of essay is task 2? This is just a quick refresher of some very important writing fundamentals. It's good to remember these at times. So, writing fundamentals. What type of essay is task 2? There's 4 kinds of essays, or 4 major types of essays. And then there are a lot of subcategories. That's right, Kisi. It is persuasive. Kisi, have you taken some time to look up these 4 types of writing online and research them a little bit? Persuasive, expository, narrative, descriptive? So yeah, task 2 is a persuasive essay. It's not a descriptive. Okay, it's a persuasive. Roshni, Rahul, descriptive essay or descriptive writing is kind of like the father of all writing in some ways, because all writing that's good writing should have quality description. So beginning research online with descriptive writing is always a really good idea. There are a lot of special, what's called descriptive writing tools, to be more specific, literary devices, such as metaphors, similes, and knowing and learning these can really help you to become a better writer and a more expressive author. So Kesey, that's great. I'm happy that you did that. Yeah. I really encourage all of our viewers and all of our members to research the 4 types of basic writing when you have an hour in your day. It's a really fundamental part of literature, of writing and reading. So research the basics of descriptive, writing, persuasive writing, expository writing, that's your task 1 in the academic IELTS. And also, of course, research narrative. That's your task 1 in the general, your letter writing. So for these 4 types of writing, viewers, descriptive, persuasive, expository, and narrative, there are some very important basic rules. You do learn them throughout your school years here and there, but it's good to go back, refresh, review, and relearn the fundamentals of these 4 to really improve your reading and writing skills. Okay, so let's get back to the question here. So it's persuasive. Our goal is to convince our reader of our ideas. Let's read the question together, members, viewers. Every year, the information on the internet is becoming more regulated with laws and rules around information exchange and privacy. Discuss both the advantages and disadvantages of this development. Okay, so step number 1, let's paraphrase this question. So rewrite the question in your own words. Do that now, members. Rewrite this question using your own words. That way you will be sure that you understand the question and you will gather useful vocabulary for your response, and you'll get some ideas for the background and thesis. Hi, Preeti. So go ahead, members, paraphrase this question for me. I'll do the same while you're writing. All right. So while you're coming up with it, here is my paraphrase. So another way to express this question is annually. Annually means every year. The data, so I'm using the data instead of the information, on the World Wide Web instead of internet, is being controlled more and more, is becoming more regulated, same idea, is being controlled more and more with new legislation. So new legislation means laws and regulations or rules around the exchange of information. Information exchange, exchange of information, similar words but different grammar. And privacy, explain both the benefits and deficits of this evolution. So evolution instead of development, benefits instead of advantages, and deficits instead of disadvantages. So this helps me to make sure that I now truly understand this question. Also, I've come up with some good vocabulary to use in my writing, in my response. So now I can go ahead and plan my essay to get some good ideas of what to write. Okay, so still waiting for those paraphrasings, members, in your own words. Hi, Begzod. Hi, Katty. Good to see so many members in class. All right, while you're finishing your paraphrasing, I'm going to outline the planning. Members, viewers, always plan your task 2 essay. Always take 2 to 3 minutes to think about what you will write and the structure of your essay before you begin writing. It is a really, really bad idea to just start writing without thinking. Essays, even if you're a native speaker of English, are quite low quality when they're spontaneous, when they do not have any planning involved. So planning is very, very important. It doesn't matter if you're an ESL student or if you're a native speaker of English. All right, Roshni says, interchanging information and privacy on internet is becoming more and more regulated by rules and laws each year. Roshni, nice switch up of the grammar. I like it. Okay, Begzod says each year the data on the global network is being more strictly controlled with laws and regulations in terms of data safety and exchange. Okay, Begzod, that's good too. Yeah, it's on track. Small corrections there for both you, Roshni, and Begzod, so take note of that. Okay, Rahul says each year the data on the internet is accessed more strictly with laws and regulations around information exchange and privacy. Discuss both pros and cons. Good. Paula, in the last decade, online data is becoming more strictly regulated with new rules about information privacy and its exchange. Expose the benefits and drawbacks. Okay, Paula, that's good. Couple of slight corrections to make it more natural and correct. Mariko, every year the rules on the internet are updated. Very good use of the word updated, Mariko, especially because it's a very computer-related term. So good job, Mariko. Please tell the good and bad side of using the internet. Mariko, you don't need the word me, and you don't need to say side both times. You can just say good and bad side, because when you use and to join nouns like that, if the adjective can modify both nouns, you only need to use the noun once. So good side and bad side of using the internet. Okay, that's good. Kisi, each year privacy information online is becoming more and more under regulation. Okay, let me adjust that a little bit, Kisi. Each year privacy information online is becoming more strictly placed under regulation. Discuss both benefits and deficits. Okay, good question, Paula. Spread is okay, Paula. It's just a little bit awkward. So it is comprehensible. It's not grammatically incorrect, Paula. It's just not as natural. Most native speakers would not use the word spread in that particular context. It's quite close. It's just a little bit off. It's just a little bit off, Paula. So it's more about it being natural rather than being accurate. It is a grammatically correct sentence that you wrote. Okay, so let's do a little bit of planning. For planning, always identify the controlling idea. And the topic, I kind of did that backwards. Always identify the topic first. Identify the topic and the controlling idea. What are we talking about here? So, members, what is the topic here? What are we talking about? Haung, meanwhile, I'll read yours. So Haung says, all the information online, all over the world. So all the information online, all over the world is being monitored more strictly with new rules around data and privacy. Yeah, so Haung, you're very, very close. It's a couple of small corrections there. Preeti, each year the internet is changing and is being updated with new regulations because of privacy and data exchange. Discuss both benefits and deficits. Preeti, that's very good. Roshni says the topic is information on the internet. That's the topic. Roshni, you're right. Absolutely. It's very, very good. Okay. Information on the internet. Even more specifically, it is information control on the internet. Okay? Information control on the internet. Yeah, Kisi, very good. Kisi, I've noticed that you've become quite proficient at identifying the specific topic, and that's excellent. That's one of the most important skills for responding to essay questions or responding to questions with effective essays. So Kisi says regulate online information or online information regulation. Yeah, that's right, Kisi. Paula says private data on the internet. Not quite, Paula. So it's not quite about private data on the internet. It's more about regulating data on the internet. Okay, so information control on the internet. Okay, that's what I would say is the topic. What's the controlling idea? So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about, when you think about the topic, students, think about the question, what are we talking about? Okay, that's the question. If you're having trouble, actually verbalize it for yourself. Ask yourself, what are we talking about? We're talking about controlling information on the internet. Okay, hi Patricio, hi Yerusalem. So the answer here is we are talking about controlling information on the internet. That's the most accurate way to answer that question. Okay. What's the controlling idea? Preeti, Sina, I'm sure that's what you're answering because you're right. Rahul, Mariko as well. Yeah, we're talking about the advantages and disadvantages of this. So okay, so that's the full answer. We're talking about the advantages and disadvantages of greater control of information on the internet. That's our controlling idea. The question that you want to ask to identify the controlling idea specifically is what are we talking about in regards or in regard to information control online. Okay, so this is why you always identify the topic first and then the controlling idea, of course. So if you want to think about it as questions, you can do it in two stages. So what are we talking about? We are talking about controlling information on the internet. What are we talking about in regards to controlling information online? We're talking about its advantages and disadvantages. So that's how you get your topic, your controlling idea very clearly. Okay. All right. And then we do the critical thinking, right? Now, of course, when you're in your IELTS exam, you have 40 minutes. So you do have to be very quick. You have to be very strategic. You don't have time to go through, especially with pencil and paper, all of these steps one by one. At home, when you're practicing and preparing for the exam, you must go through each of these steps one at a time with a pencil and a paper or with your laptop or computer. and write it out just so you can get your brain working in this way. So that when you're in the exam, you can do these steps mentally in your head very quickly. Okay, that's the idea. So we want to ask what, why, how. Now at home, you would do what, why, how for the topic, and you would do what, why, how for the controlling idea on paper. So let's go through this quickly. It's worth it for this question. So what is information control? Online. Okay. Give me an answer. What does that actually mean? Okay. Never assume that your reader knows what you know. Your reader is an alien. They're smart. They don't know what you know. Okay. So what is information control online? And Caddy, that is a good paraphrase as well, going back to the beginning of the class. All right, members. So what is what does that actually mean? What is information control online? I don't think, Carlos, that it's the information is true or not. So I don't think we're talking about information validity. So we're not talking about whether it's true or not. We're talking about information control. What does that actually mean, do you think? So Preeti says laws. Preeti, that's very general. Can you explain it a little bit clearer? What do you mean laws? That's one way. So Hong says users must register and confirm information, right? Sure, that's one. So users have to use their true identity. They have to confirm their identity. You get a code sent to your email or a link to click that. Okay. Okay, Roshni says person is robotic or real. Roshni, how does that happen? So what happens to check if a person is real or not? They're called reCAPTCHAs, but that's a piece of software, right? Okay, so Rahul, that's good. So information cannot be used without permission. Sure. Yep. So the classic case is click the I agree button. Yeah. Sure. What else do we mean by that? So Rehen says there's validation of the users. Yeah. Anybody familiar with the new European Union regulations? That would be a good one to think of in this case. Okay, so age restrictions and regulations, yeah. Okay, another way that you can express it is policing software, right? So there's a lot of software out there like the reCAPTCHA, which polices the users, whether they're robots or real humans. Agree to adding cookies, yeah. Like on our websites as well, especially if you're using them in Europe. Yeah, agree to adding cookies, sure. What else? Anything else? All right, so that's good. So far, so good. Why? So why do we have this? So why do we have regulation online? What's the purpose? Yep, to protect people's identity. Paula, sure. What other reasons? To reduce false information, yeah. Begzod says to prevent hacking or theft, right? Yeah. Sure, phishing. Yeah. Paula says to regulate advertising. Absolutely. Okay. How is it done? So how is information online regulated? How is that done? Welcome, Fear Doves. New member. Awesome. Thank you for joining. Make sure to send me an email. Okay. Oh, Kisi said for the last one to protect children. Yeah, absolutely. And elderly as well. So how is it done? How do we regulate this information? Okay, data is traceable. Sure. Passwords, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Software. Cybercrime units in police stations. Right? Sure. Cybersecurity software, firewalls, right? Different kinds of bots, absolutely. Okay, great. So before we start writing, we have a couple more really important questions to ask. Verification codes, antivirus, yes, those are all great, yeah. Email, double opt-in, using cookies. Yes, you're on the right track, students. That's fantastic. So yeah, lots of different ways. So we have a couple more questions. What are the advantages of this? So what is the actual advantage of having more security and more regulation online? Less crime, such as identity theft, surely is one. So we're safer, we're more protected. That's right, Paula. What else? Think about it. Yep, so safety is definitely one that comes to mind. There are a couple ones you should think about. Yeah, it can protect your money. It's safer to use the internet. What else? What else? Other than safety. Yep, so far I see lots of different ways of expressing safety. Protecting privacy, sure. Okay, that's still kind of safety. Any other reason? Okay, I'll help you out a little bit. I would say guarantee. A higher standard of quality of information, right? So we get rid of low quality information online. Also, Minimize distractions. Reduce advertising interference, right? Prevent cyberbullying. Yes, Rihan, absolutely, among youth especially. Okay, what are the disadvantages? So what are the negatives of this? Hi, Fur Doves. Again, welcome to our group of members and to this class. Thank you for joining. Make sure to send me an email so I can hook you up with our perks, our practice exams, and so on. So, too much control is in its... So too much control on its own, Paula and Hong, doesn't really mean that there's a disadvantage. Why is too much control bad? Okay. So why is it bad to have too much control? What happens when freedom of expression is reduced? Okay, think about this one. This is one of the more difficult questions to answer. So Kesey says it's inconvenient. Yep, so inconvenient as people may not be able to access needed information. We actually experienced that ourselves in our company because we know that in some parts of the world, like in China, Kesey, and in some parts of the Middle East, it's very difficult to watch YouTube or other videos because access is restricted for political control. So students are not able to directly learn from these videos or these websites because of these firewalls that prevent sharing of information, often good information, educational information. Okay? So keep it simple. Students, remember this is the IELTS and your goal is to get a high band score. This is not a university essay, so you have to keep your thoughts simple. Okay? Anybody knows the word when a country or a government is controlling information and kind of tricking the citizens into believing false ideas for some kind of a goal, for war or for economic reasons? What is that called? It starts with a P. Starts with a P. Yeah, so fake news, Hong, what is that? When somebody spreads fake news and the goal of it is to trick people, a large group of people in an entire country, into false beliefs. Anybody know what the word is that I'm trying to get you to think of? Starts with P-R-O, not phobia. I think it's got about, it's not preaching, you're solemn. It starts with a P-R-O-P. Let's see who comes up with it. It's a good word to remember. That's right, Yvonne, it's propaganda. So when you have control over information, such as the internet, it's easy to create propaganda. Propaganda can be very dangerous because there's no opposition. Okay. So propaganda becomes an issue when you're controlling information, right? Okay, there you go. Now a few of you have thought of that word, propaganda. So that would be a great word to think about, okay? So inconvenient, people may not be able to access information needed. It empowers certain groups that control information for propaganda. It restricts opportunities. Okay? Such as new online business. If some of you are thinking to start a business online, whether it's a vlogging business, selling merchandise like these t-shirts, or consulting agency. Anyway, if you're looking to start an online business, my advice to you is start it as soon as you can, because every year it's becoming more and more difficult to start an online company due to regulations and control that's coming into the internet. It's shortly becoming more difficult to start an online business than a business in the physical world, okay? So that's one other caveat or danger of controlling information online, is it's becoming less of a place for opportunity, okay? Yes, Charles, absolutely. It's becoming more expensive, right? Control costs money. So to build software in a way that's secure, it's accepted, it's approved by the controlling mechanisms, is becoming more expensive. All right, so now we have lots of information, and of course you can't write about all of this. It's a minimum 250 word essay, not 2,500 word essay. So you've done a great job of thinking of some good ideas. Now we need to come up with a thesis, okay? So let's write the thesis. When you write the thesis at home, when you're preparing for the test, when you write the thesis, go back to the original question, reread it. So let's do that now, okay? So IELTS Task 2 writing. Every year, the information on the internet is becoming more regulated with laws and rules around information exchange and privacy. Discuss both the advantages and disadvantages of this development. So that's the question. We reread it, okay? Really quickly, so what are we talking about? Information control online. What are we talking about? This particular information control, we're talking about the advantages and disadvantages. What is information control online? It's forcing users to adhere to certain rules like registering and confirming information. Information cannot be used without permission. Having to click the I agree button. Validating users, so not allowing people to freely exchange information without any interference. Why? To protect people's identity, to reduce false information, to prevent crime, to protect children and the elderly. How? Data can be traced, use of passwords, software, cyber crime units, firewalls. What are the advantages? Less crime, such as identity theft, protecting privacy, guaranteeing higher quality of information, minimizing distractions, reducing advertising interference, preventing cyberbullying. All right, and what are the disadvantages? Inconvenient. People cannot access information they need, reduces learning. It can empower some groups to spread propaganda. It can restrict opportunities for people to start online businesses. It makes the internet more expensive. Okay, fantastic. Write the thesis using that information. Okay, so remember, in this question, you have to talk about both the advantages and disadvantages. Decide which one to discuss first, and then include both into your thesis. Okay. So Rahul says 2 major advantages to regulate. Rahul, that was a good start to a thesis. It's too bad that you withdrew that. It was a good start. I liked it. Okay. All right, so there is my thesis. I'll hold off for a moment while you think about yours. Meanwhile, I'll set up for the introductory paragraph. The introductory paragraph, again, has three important parts: the hook, the background, and the thesis, which we just wrote. Yes, all three of these points are important. Okay, so Paula says for her thesis, controlling the free exchange of information on the internet has either advantages, such as decrease of cybercrime, or drawbacks, such as manipulation of information. Nice, Paula. I like it. Okay, those are some good points. That's a good thesis. It's solid. Very clear grammatically, and you have good parallel grammar as well, Paula, with decrease of cybercrime, manipulation of information. So nice parallel grammar between your 2 points. Very well done, Paula. That is an excellent thesis, okay? You're absolutely on the right track, okay? Begzod says the clear advantage of being regulated information. So Begzod, information. The clear advantage of information being regulated through the internet is that it helps to minimize cybercrime, semicolon, however, comma, it's good. Having such control may restrict opportunities for people. Very good, Begzod, very nice. Roshni says, interchange of information on the internet is becoming more regulated by laws and rules each year, which have benefits like controlling quality of information, and deficits are restricting opportunity. Okay, Mariko says, the advantage is that by using and agreeing to rules, we are more likely to be protected from crime. The disadvantage is that there are various limitations. Mariko, that's good. It's very good. And Mariko, I like how you decided to do it as 2 sentences, and that is fine. It's okay to do the thesis in 2 sentences. Absolutely. So good job. Yersalim, the development of controlling online information has many advantages, such as protecting people's identity, preventing cyberbullying. Yersalim, you need a different verb there because protecting cyberbullying doesn't make sense. So you have to say preventing cyberbullying and reducing crime. However, there's too much information there, Yersalim, for that first point. You should just continue with however. Roshni, that's a great question. So Roshni says, is it okay to describe just one idea for each? I guess that's what you're asking, Roshni. So like just one idea for the advantage and one idea for the disadvantage. Yes, it is okay as long as you do a very good job. So if you're just describing one idea for each, make sure that you explain it really clearly with some good examples to back it up, and you should still be able to get a very high band score, even a band 9 if you've written a really good essay. Okay? So, Kisi says, it is essential to guarantee the standard of quality of information with laws and rules. However, highly controlled information can also restrict new online business and lead to propaganda. Okay, cause propaganda. Yeah, it's okay, Kisi. All right, Kisi, make sure to include the idea that it's clearly online or internet-based information. You have it in there near the end, the online business, but I would put it on earlier, Kisi. So it is essential to guarantee the standard of quality on the internet by controlling information with laws and rules. However, highly controlled information can restrict new online business and cause propaganda. All right. Yersalim, you should put that a little bit earlier. Okay, so keep your points a little bit more concise. All right. Patricio, although regulations on the internet bring some benefits to users like less cybercrime and less advertisement, there are some disadvantages such as increasing cost and promotion of information as well as propaganda. Patricio, propaganda should be a separate idea clearly. Okay, members, that's fantastic. Excellent job so far. You've all done a really good job on the thesis. Our new member, I'm just trying to, yeah, so for Doves, don't be shy throughout your thesis, okay? Join in on these answers. So here we go. Okay, so we have our thesis. Here's mine, by the way. So my thesis reads, some advantages to controlling the flow of information online are decreasing crime and increasing quality, while the disadvantages are promoting propaganda and restricting opportunity. Okay, so notice that I have 2 points for my advantages: decreasing crime, increasing quality. And then I have 2 points for my disadvantages: promoting propaganda, restricting opportunity. Okay, the more concise and powerful you can make your thesis, the better it is. Okay, master's, PhD level students for university, this is the level of thesis that you have to get to for your university papers. Okay. All right. So we have our introductory paragraph coming up, starting with the hook. So the hook should be something about controlling information. Okay. And it should be simple. It should catch your audience, catch your reader, get you focused. So write a sentence, students, with controlling information online. Okay. Keep the sentence simple, not too many words. Try to make it interesting so you can catch your reader. Rehan, it's okay to not include the hook in your IELTS task 2. You won't lose marks if you don't have a hook. But for the essay, for your own thinking, it's usually better to have a hook, because the hook is a simple sentence that should have no mistakes. So you open with a clear, clean sentence which shows the examiner that you have good English skills. If you start your essay with a complicated sentence, a complex sentence, Rehan, right away, like the background, then, or your thesis, then if you make a mistake, it looks really bad. So having a quick, short hook is usually to your advantage. Roshni, that's very good. Internet is a source of information for the world. Okay? Or, Roshni, like this. The internet is a source of information worldwide. Roshni, that is a brilliant hook. I'm going to actually take your hook. I like it so much. Tweak it a little bit. Yeah, so the internet is a source of information for billions of people worldwide. Yeah, that's a great hook, Roshni. So I took yours and just tweaked it a little bit with this quantitative information to make it a little bit more punchy. But otherwise, a fantastic hook, Roshni. Paula says, the internet is full of personal data. Paula, very good. That works. It's a good hook. Okay, works well. All right, and then we go and write the background. So what we're talking about and its importance. Okay. Claire says, the information collecting from internet is spreading like wildfire. Okay, Carlos, it's not bad, but you have to avoid mistakes in your hook, okay? So here we go, Carlos. It should read like this. Collecting information through the internet spreads like wildfire, okay? So collecting information through the internet is spreading like wildfire, okay? Carlos, both of those will work. A little bit different than what you have. Rehan, a little bit more punchy. It's not just being used by many people, it's being used by billions of people. So nowadays, the World Wide Web is used by billions of people daily. Okay, Rehan, a little bit more. So nowadays, the World Wide Web is used by billions of people daily. Begzod, the internet has the data of millions of people worldwide. Begzod, that's a really good hook as well. For Doves says, wherever people are active, the state has always tried to regulate their activities. For Doves, okay, it's a good try. Little bit too general. Stay with the internet. When you have a 250-word essay for Doves, you want to really keep the information focused. So keep it specific to the internet. So for Doves, just a little bit different. I would say it like this. People are very active on the internet, so the state wants to regulate their activities. That would be good. Haung, people cannot live without the internet nowadays. It's not the best hook because it's not quite the right topic. We're not really talking about just the internet. We're talking about information control online. So your hook should be closer to that. Okay. All right. So let's write the background. The background is the definition and the importance. So what we're talking about, define it, and why it's important. Okay, I'll give you a minute to do that while I do the same. Okay. So there's my background. Let's see what some of you have come up with. Caddy, that's an off-topic hook. Okay, nowadays people are using the internet daily, which leads them to be very addicted. Caddy, that is not on the right topic of this question. This question is about controlling information on the internet, not about being addicted to the internet. Okay, Paula, I see that you're writing your background. So online platforms collect information from millions of users every second, and it could be used for a variety of purposes if not regulated. Paula, I would just say a variety of purposes, not necessarily criminal purposes. Okay. Roshni says a global computer network provides a variety of information and facilities to people by collecting their data. Yeah, Roshni, that's good. Okay, that's a good background. Patricio, in the past 2 decades, the internet is increasing regulation of exchange and privacy of information, of new laws and rules. It is important for users because it carries not only advantages but also disadvantages. Patricio, it's not bad, a little bit wordy. Okay, I think you could simplify that more, but you have the right idea. That's an all right background. Bagzod, these days most of the social media sites like Facebook collect people's information, such as location, pictures, dates of birth on these individuals. Begzod, that's good. Yeah. You might use some of that information in the body paragraphs, but it makes for a good background as well. Okay. All right. This is what I have, students, for my background so far. And then I might as well just put in my thesis so we have the full introduction. Okay. Now, I realize that, we spend a full class on the interpretation of the question, on doing the planning, on writing the introduction, but that really is the most critical part of essay writing. If you learn, or I should say when you learn to interpret questions, essay questions well, you plan effectively and accurately, and you compose a strong introduction, then you will be able to write very solid essays for the exam and for university or work. So this is my logic for spending more time for the beginning, okay? If we have a strong foundation for our essay, we will be able to get a high band score on the exam. Here is my full introduction. I will read it to you now, so just focus and bear with me. I see some good background information coming up, Kisi, Preeti. Let's focus on this. So read with me. The internet is a source of information for billions of people worldwide. In recent years, a variety of software has been implemented to control the free-flowing information online, which restricts individual users and businesses from gaining access to certain types of data. As millions of companies and people rely on the internet for work, entertainment, and guidance, any regulation of such information has significant impact on society. Some advantages to controlling the flow of information online are decreasing crime and increasing quality, while the disadvantages are promoting propaganda and restricting opportunity. So that would be your Band 9 introduction. Having this introduction fulfills the band description of expert English user. Okay, members, that's all the time for today's class. We will finish this task 2 essay together. I challenge you to do it for homework, so when we complete the essay in our next members task 2 class, then you can match up and see how you did, what you did well, what you need to improve. You can also send those essays to me, to my email for an estimate band score, to Adrian at aehelp.com. Okay, if you are a new member, I'm thinking specifically of for Doves, send me an email so I can hook you up with the perks, the practice exams, the video archives. Again, members, keep in mind, you can now get our really cool shirts, mugs, stickers, cell phone cases with the IELTS hero, karate chopping the IELTS acronym, meaning they're cracking the test. Especially when you pass the exam, it's cool to sport one of these shirts. Have an awesome day. Again, students, in 30 minutes, next class, listening, practice, and strategy. That's coming up in 30 minutes. Everybody can chat. Remember to check out our websites, aehelp.com for academic module, gieltshelp.com for general, and use the code LIVE20 for a 20% discount. All right, that's it for now. Keep up the good work, study hard, write lots of essays, read, and you will become experts. Bye for now. See you shortly.